Hello, everybody. It's Prashant this week. I'm going to talk to you about user personas. User personas are a good tool to collect requirements. However, the background of user persona is mostly from a research angle. Um, User persona starts from user research, and it's not typically a business analyst or a product owner or a product manager's responsibility. It is something that we co-own along with the user researcher or the user experience developers, user experience designers. So what's a user persona? It's nothing but the caricature of the user of the systems. That's basically what it is. I'm going to refer to this article from Smashing Magazine. I'll give this link along with this video in the description. You can go and take a look at it. So why do we need a user persona? And what is a user persona? A user persona is your typical user that you would use to design a system. It is like it's been just suggested here. It's synthesized from observations of many people as a part of research. It is not something that you manufacture out of nothing. And the reason why we do it is it helps us focus and relate to the users. It's mostly for user empathy. This is an example of a user persona. So what should a user persona look like? One of the common misconceptions and mistakes we do when we actually do user personas is to basically just put demographic information and say, hey, this is my user persona. That's not the right way to go about it. If you would want to do a demographic information, it's most of a customer segmentation. And that's not what a user persona is for. A user persona is for us to understand what a typical user is, what is his typical day, what are the constraints he operates under, or what are the resources that he has in his daily life so that we know exactly how he would operate the system that we are designing for him. When I call something a system, it doesn't have to be an IT system, it could be any system that we actually design for him. So with that in mind, some of the couple of examples that are given here have both demographic as well as a couple of other things. For example, you could see here it talks about the key goals of the user. What does he do in his everyday life? If you read deeply, it will also talk about constraints and other things. You can read through this article. It is a very good article about how to go about creating a user persona. Where does the concept of user personas came from? Obviously, this came from the design world in the early 1980s. It comes from what we call goal-directed design. So what we talk about is that in any design that we do, we have end goals and we have scenarios. So how does a user attain the end goal and how many scenarios are there for him to attain that goal? And we use personas to understand all the scenarios that are possible for a user to take when he achieves that goal, the means to the end, right? And this user persona is a tool that we use to understand all those possible scenarios so that we can design for them. How do we create it? Like I said, it's from user research. You interview as many people as possible. The ideal sample size is 100%, but you're never going to get there. You find patterns and you use them to group similar people. This is where it differs from customer segmentation. Customer segmentation is just based on demographic, not based on patterns. We create archetypal model of these groups based on the patterns one, which basically means we anonymize it and try to kind of group them based on the common understanding. And then we create user-centered designs and use those models. Like I said, what a user persona is used for? Once the designer comes up with them, we use that to build empathy. How do I put myself in the user's shoes? And then how do I kind of solve for it? It helps us develop focus because it's easier for us to kind of focus on a specific user persona versus talking about all the things that you would want to do. Like I said, narrowing down the scenario set of reaching a specific goal, and then we communicate and form consensus. This is typically helpful when you're facilitating a large group or a diverse set of stakeholders. It kind of helps us to kind of do it. And one key thing to remember here is when we actually do user personas, it can be helpful across departments. So in case you need a budget to do user personas, I would suggest that you actually, make it a cross-departmental effort and spend a good amount of time. The best time to do user personas is to kind of keep doing it always and kind of have budgets and making different decisions based on that and measure effectiveness. I'll let you read this article. One key thing I would want you to leave that's probably not in this article, that's in the other article, is about the fact that you would need to keep redefining user personas because customers changes his or her preferences as and when they start using the system or the product. So you would need to kind of keep redefining it, and that's where I think I said that you would have to appeal to cross-departmental budgets, and you actually want to kind of keep redefining or researching users to find more better user personas. Are personas effective? That's a subjective thing. I've found it very useful, but there are times when I've found it very less useful. That's predominantly the time when I have not backed it up with proper user research and I've actually kind of done it with demographic data. And it's completely up to you, like I said. Please don't use user personas as a way to segment your customers. That's not what it is for. It is for us to understand how to direct a specific user to the specific goal that he or she wants to achieve. If you like this video, please leave a comments below and let's see what we come next week. See you guys. Until next week. Bye-bye.